there, I'm Becky, and you may not know me, but that's because I'm usually working behind the scenes here. I am Tara's assistant, and today I'm jumping in front of the camera for just a moment to show you how to use Remine Pro through FMLS. And this is one of our favorite tools for data mining and for direct mail campaigns. So just a little bit about Remine Pro. It's a free benefit and it's included in your FMLS membership. And it's amazing for pulling targeted property data, especially if you're looking to do direct mail. And here's a tip. Once you've got your list, we recommend, there's lots of options, but we recommend sending your postcards through Command for the best deal. Plus, if you have your database through Command already, it just makes sense. It's just easy, and you know how to upload and build your contacts database and all of that. So let's get started. First things first, navigate to the FMLS website, firstmls.com. and then click on the FMLS login in the upper right-hand corner, and that will take you to the login page, or if you've already logged in recently, it'll take you directly to your dashboard. And then you want to navigate down to the product directory, and the app we're looking for is Remine Pro. It's this little blue icon. Go ahead and click on that and let the app open. So once you're inside Remine, we'll start our search. So go ahead, and this is like the Remine dashboard, and it'll tell you all the things you've done recently. But you want to click on search, and that will open up the map. So before diving in, make sure to clear out any previous search parameters. I've been in here playing, and since I want to show you from scratch, I'm going to remove the search parameters. Plus, sometimes you'll come in from month, like I'll come in from month to month, and last month's preferences will be saved, and I don't need those parameters. And if I forget to clear them out, then I might get some funky numbers when I start searching, or I might have a neighborhood selected on the other side of town in addition to what I'm trying to find. So it's always good practice to just clear things out and start from scratch, so then you don't have any conflicting information. So you want to set your search parameters based on your goals. Right now, the area I'm looking at, there are 3,958 homes in this area. That's a bit much. And you don't want to you don't want to send mail to everyone. You want to think about your demographic. You want to think about what exactly you're looking for. When I'm pulling data for our monthly mailings, I typically search for minimum accrued equity and minimum ownership time, because in our case, for what we're doing, for what our goals are, we are trying to attract potential sellers set now. So for home equity, I click on the home equity button on the left-hand side here, click on amount, and then I'm searching for a minimum of $50,000 in equity, no maximum, and click apply. And that will set that parameter at the top here. And then I'm going to click on ownership time and click on a minimum of 3 years, no maximum, and click apply. And that's taken my results down to 2,168. That's still a bit much. So this month let me backtrack. You can narrow your area down by neighborhood, zip code, or as you see here, just the area that is visible on your map. It's usually a good idea to go ahead and narrow it down by neighborhood, because then you know exactly where it's going. So this month, I am looking for properties in Forest Creek West. And so this will show me things in different cities, and this database will go all over the country. Obviously, you want to keep it close to home. So going down to neighborhoods, thankfully it's popping up with Forest Creek West in the Augusta, Georgia metro area. So I click on that, and that gives me this little neighborhood here. And that gives me 182 results. That is much more manageable. But my goal for the month is 450 to 500 addresses. So I need to expand my search a little bit. We don't really want to open up the options on home equity and ownership time, because that probably wouldn't produce good leads in this case for our purposes. So I will zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to show you the area tools that you can use. My search parameters are still set within everything within this neighborhood. And over here, there's a circle, there's a square, and there's a polygon. And you can use these to draw shapes on the map, and Remine will grab all of the addresses that fit, all the properties that fit your parameters within that area. I like to use the polygon tool because that helps me to trace around all of the more precisely through the neighborhoods. Then I make sure I have a better idea of where I've been, and it helps me be precise as to which neighborhood, exactly which properties within the neighborhood. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to start over here, and this gives me just the precision to follow the roads. And I'm going to follow this creek here. Go down and see what this does for me. So that gave me 449. I could use about 50, 55 more properties. I told you my goal was 500. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to grab this I'm going to finish this little piece over here. What does that do? Come on, results. 454. That was a couple more. What do we got? 510. Perfect. So that is a little bit above my goal, but one thing you have to keep in mind when you're mining for data is that when you go in to clean up the data, you're probably going to lose a few addresses. Sometimes the owner name doesn't make it all the way to the database. Sometimes it'll be a business name, and you don't necessarily want to target the LLC. Sometimes I'll have LLCs in the owner names, that kind of thing. So you'll find as you comb through your data that you'll have some bad data, and so that'll get weeded out. And so with a little overage, then that gets me right in that good percentage that I want. So we are happy with our number. We've got our search parameters exactly what we want. So now what we're going to do is we are going to save our search, save these properties to a cart. So now you're going to come up here to the upper right hand corner, click select all. Then you're going to move over here to the cart a little bit higher up in the corner and click on cart. Then you'll have the opportunity to add the properties to the cart. So first it's going to want you to either select a cart, which you can see here I have a bunch, and over the months through trial and error, I've come up with a system that I like best for naming my carts. So you'll want to name it something useful. I like to use a combo of the date and the neighborhood targeted so that I can remember where I mailed things and when I mailed them. So in this case, I'm going to call it 425 for April 2025, and then Forest Creek West. So then make sure you click the create button, because I've done it many times where I ignore that part and just click the blue button. Then I have to start typing it all over again, and that gets annoying. So click add 510 properties to the cart. Wait for it to process. All right, and you can see, you'll be successful because there will be a green message up here in the top right-hand corner that says success. Your properties have been added to the cart you requested. So now we're going to go over here on the left-hand menu and click on the carts button, and that will take you to all of the carts. So you'll want to click on the cart you just created, and you will see all of the properties pop up. So go ahead and click on this square at the very top of the column to select all, and then you're going to click on export. Now you will have the opportunity to name your file, and while I do like to have a naming convention for the cart so that when I go back I know where I've been and what I'm doing, for the name of the file I don't need to be quite that specific, so I'm just going to do April 2025. And then you have the opportunity to decide which columns you want to export. And as you can see, there is a lot of information. So my tip to you, my best advice to you is don't export everything. It will be tempting because the easiest thing to do is to click that little button that says all information. But trust me, your future self will thank you, and it will thank me if you don't do that. Take a few minutes to go through and select the specific columns that you want to export. Which information do you need? So remember, the purpose of this, my purpose is I'm going to be putting it into a mail merge. However, you might have a mail merge, or most likely you're going to be uploading this to your database. And so you need to set up your file for the database. And so with that in mind, you're going to want probably going to want the owner information, and you might need the property address depending on what your purpose is. If you're trying to entice a seller, you need to contact the actual owners. And with that, you'll need the mailing address specifically. It might be the same as the property address, it might not be. But if you're just blanket mailing to all of the properties in the area, then you might just need the property address. So those are the 3 sets that I always click. And so there are multiple columns within each of those selections, but you'll see that when you open up your spreadsheet later. So once you're happy with the information you've selected, go ahead and click export. And then it will say success. Will notify you in a few minutes when your download is ready. And once the download is ready, an alert will show up over here on the left. And that alert that I just clicked on is not the one. The correct alert, the new alert, will pop up when the current file is ready to go. And that can take like 2 to 5 minutes. And so now we wait. Okay, so now that the file is ready, you can see the alert, the notification in the alert menu on the lower left-hand side of the screen. Go ahead and click the alert button on the menu there, and then you will see the file that is ready for download. So you'll click the download button, and that will download the CSV file, and that stands for comma separated values. And you will use that to import into most database systems will allow for CSV files. You can also open it in your favorite spreadsheet program, whether that is Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets. If you're a Mac user, you might use Numbers. I think it's Numbers. Anyway, but for me, I'm setting it up for mail merge, so I'll open it up in my spreadsheet program and make sure that my columns are labeled appropriately for the mail merge that I have set up. However, if you're importing into Command or whatever database system you prefer to use, you'll want to set that up according to the parameters that your database system has set for you. In Command, you can download the Command imports, contact imports template, and you can find that in the contact section under import, and just make sure that your column labels match up, and your file should in theory upload smoothly. And honestly, that's it. This is your crash course on using Remine Pro for data mining. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I keep an eye on this channel, or you can email Tara and I will receive it there as well. Happy to help from behind the scenes as I always do. So thanks for watching, and happy data farming.